Good morning everyone, and welcome back to Craft Eccentricity. I do apologise for yesterday. I forgot to tell you on Monday that I had an eye appointment and I wasn't doing a video because my eyes would have been all blurred anyway, you know, after they squirt all the doodahs in it. So anyway, there wasn't a video yesterday, but I'm here and there is a video today. So once again, I'm doing Panalisa and I'm using the lovely bubble stamp again, and I'm also going to be using this wildflower and script set that's got 2 butterflies in it, and I'm going to be using that butterfly, I think. And it's only a quick vid and it's the tag set, but the tag set also will go with the pocket if you want it. So, you know, they're separate purchases and they're optional, and I hope my camera's not all blurred, but you can see that they've got the same dotty edge around them. And on the larger one, the pocket will fit, and you can either wrap it around the back, load it to the front. You can see it's got a double fold here, which means it's quite dimensional, and I'm going to show you that in a second. And then the other tags will, you know, drop inside, or you can store whatever media you want in there. So those are what we're using, and I've tried to be a little bit organised, yeah. Broken china and squeezed lemonade are Panalisa's colours that I'm using. She does 12 colours altogether. So it's the squeezed lemonade and the broken china. That's the one that's getting used today. I'm using some Alina Craft adhesive tape. I'm using my Distress archival ink. And I'm using a Tombow 452 and a Tombow 977. These are watercolour markers, and I'm also going to use a gel pen if I want to. Now I'm going to move these out of the way because I have tried to be organised, and I've done my back section first, and I've used the bubble stamp on this. I've already done a video last week where I've used the bubble stamp a couple of times. You can do it in soft pastels, bright bolds, but that's quite a bright and bold colour today. And as I said, I'm also using squeezed lemonade. This is the pocket that once folded will go onto the front. Right, so this isn't stamped yet, so I'm going to grab my stamp off the sheet, put my stamp platform down, and I will be right back. Right, so I've got my stamp platform here. This one is from Surprise Creation, and I'm pretty sure that she no longer sells them, so I'm very lucky to have this. So I'm going to put my pocket somewhere, and it moving doesn't bother me because I know this is going to give a good stamp first time. So I just need to get it down basically where I want it, and it's going to move around slightly. But I want some script and I want some butterfly. So I'm trying to look to see if I've got that straight or not. And I think that that is pretty straight. So I'm just going to close the lid, pick that up, and then quickly take the lid off my archival ink. And I'm just putting ink on it here. I hope that you can see. Try to keep my platform still while I'm doing it. You can of course use adhesive tape on this platform if you've got it. It doesn't have any magnetism or anything. Sometimes I tap the edges of little bits of script with just the edge of the pad, just to make sure that I've got my ink exactly where I want it. And I think that's got good coverage. And you're doing something mixed media-y looking, so it doesn't really matter. Right, once more. And then I know that that's roughly there, so I can just straighten that up again. And I'm just going to close the lid. Right. Move my ink pad and just give that a gentle squeeze. I've got one of those round tools, you know. I think everybody's got one of those round tools. But I don't know why. I'm still using my fingers. But I'm pretty sure that's made good contact. Right, let's have a look. And it's picking up my paper, and that's okay with me. Right, so I'm a little bit missing, but that's absolutely fine with me. It will stamp perfectly, I do know that. It's just me and my pressure. Whoops. Right, now with this, what I want is to put some colour into the butterfly, which is why I've got this. Now, we could end up turning green here, I'm not sure. But I just want to put a little bit in those stripy bits, because it just gives an extra little bit of, you know, detail. And it just looks prettier than just stamping black straight down onto yellow. I'm just putting my blue bits in. And I think I probably will put quite a bit of white into this. So I'm going to go down here. If you haven't got any Tombow watercolour markers, you should get some, because they're really lovely to use. Really simple. And I don't have what I would consider a very steady hand, so I can either make a mess and go outside of the lines trying to use a fine detail brush, or I can just use a Tombow marker. Right, so I think I've got enough blue in my butterfly. And I did get my brown one out, I think. And I'm going to do the body, because I can see the body there. It's coming into that bit. So I've got the body of the butterfly done, and now I just want to put a little bit of white in, just to brighten the mood. So I'm just going to go in with little dots up the wings, and you will be able to see that in a minute. I'll hold it up for you. It's quite interesting sometimes using white gel markers, because they can take on the colour of what's beneath them, and that's not always a bad thing. It can look really subtle and nice. But I just figured if we've got a few little dots going on, it's an extra little bit of interest. Might do a couple of little squiggly white bits as well. Do some up there. And the funny thing about butterfly wings is they never really seem, well, to me anyway, in stamps, I don't know about nature, that they're kind of identically mirrored in design. Yeah, I think I'll go with that. That kind of lifted it a little bit, but you see, you kind of like got a little dot there, but you haven't got one there, so I'm going to put one in. There, I think I'm happy. So I've got a little bit of white going on in there. I think I'm going to do a highlight on his head. There. Right, so the next thing I need to do is get my tape. And as I was saying, this is a double fold, which is lovely, because you can see here and here. So you're going to take your card. You should use a bone folder when doing things like this, so that you're nice and tidy. So you've got one fold there, and then your next fold is just at the back of those dots. So we're just going along there, and as soon as I find it, there we go. Then I can get my bone folder and be good. I'm just going to pop that down, just gently run that up there. That's it, nice and tidy, so that it looks like that. You can see how deep that is now, because that's the bit that gets stuck down. Right, I'm just going to fold the others and I'll be straight back. Right, so I've done that, and you can see just how deep that is, and the shape that it should be when you've got it folded. Now, I did put my tape on as well, but I have decided that that is a bit too dark for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in with my bubble stamp, which I've got here, and I'm going to use some archival Moonlight White, which is from Sukineko, which is a Japanese company. And I'm going to put some of that on here. Now you can configure your tag in whatever direction you want so that you're getting bubbles in different directions. Now I am stamping all over this because I think I'm going to go off at an angle this time. And you just put your project down on top. This stamp is so huge that you can quite literally do that with it, you know, treat it like a gel plate. And just put your cardstock down in whichever area you want and then just give it a rub. Now I'm thinking that is going to lighten things up. It did a little bit. I think you can see it ghosting there. It doesn't feel as harsh, but I can totally do it again, and I will. You can do things as many times as you want. So this time I'm going to concentrate the top of my tag in that top area where there is a lot more white going on, and I'm going to put that there like that. So I might just, you know, gently rub this bit, but give this bit a lot of attention. And that should look even more. There we go. Can you see that? Oh, my camera's playing up. Oh, that's better. It's just softened it up just a little bit. And if you want to stamp with other colours on top of other colours, you can do that too. And I did show that the other day. So that's a little bit softer and I'm a little bit happier. And I'm going to attach the butterfly part. Right, let's move that. I don't know what the weather's like where you are, but apparently we're having scorcher this week, which is nice and not nice, because I've got to make sure all my fruit trees get watered. It doesn't really bother me. You usually find me standing out there while it's still dark with the hose pipe watering everything, and I'm sure everyone as they're driving by going to work must think I'm crazy. But I like to get that done, and then usually at lunchtime I go outside and I just sit out there with the dogs, watch the birds. I love it. Right, I'm going down to the edge of this tag. I want to make sure that I'm correct. And then just position yourself within your edge. I'm eyeballing this from across the table, so I haven't got a clue if it's straight or not. I think that's straight, and I will secure it further in a second. So I'm going to go right onto the edge, and then I'm going in here. Now, as I said before, you can go on the outside of your tag with this so that this little flap wouldn't be seen. But if you don't like that, you can just cut it off with your scissors. Right, and now I just need to go into the bottom and rub that down. It's a good use of your bone folder. So that is my little pocket. And I just like the way that it softened that. But you can stuff that full of tea bags. You can get a small bar of chocolate in there. I am going to measure that. Or you can even put something like this in here. So if you're giving a gift to a friend, I'm just going to open these up because I have used some of these. And, you know, you can just stuff it full of little labels as a gift, or use them yourself in your box so that you've got all your little tags and stuff in one place. That's another way to use them. Right, measurements. Across the front we are at 2 3/4 inches. In height we are at 5 3 What's that say? Oh, let's get that correct. It's almost 5¼ it's a fraction under, and then the depth is 3/8 of an inch, which is a lovely size. But as I said, you can stuff whatever you want in there. I'm going to pop those in there and stick them in my little rack. Right, that is what I have for you today, and I thank you so much for joining me. I'll be up with more Panalisa tomorrow, and you know, I haven't got an eye appointment, so I'll be able to do a little bit more. But once again, I do thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.